Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Today is Monday, March 25th, 2024, and the time is 6 p.m. I will call to order this regular meeting of the Town of Mead Board of Trustees. In accordance with the town's remote participation and remote meeting policy adopted by the Board of Trustees on March 13th, 2023 by Resolution number 21R 2023, remote participation will be allowed. The meeting link has been provided on the town's website designated posting place 24 hours prior to this meeting. I'd like to remind everyone present, both in person and virtually, of the town's general guidelines for public comment at open meetings and public hearing guidelines. The guidelines are available online and on the entry table. In addition to tonight's public hearing, there are two public comment opportunities on the agenda for persons in attendance at Town Hall to address the board. The first is limited to the items on the agenda, and the second public comment opportunity allows any subject whether it is on the agenda or not. Mary, roll call, please.
Mayor Whitlow.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright.
Here.
Trustee Adams.
Here.
Trustee Broadhead.
Here.
Trustee Harris.
Here.
Trustee Parr.
Here.
Trustee Schranz.
Here.
Mayor Whitlow, today is Monday, March 25th, 2024, and you do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Please join me in a moment of silence for those in our community suffering from cancer and other serious medical conditions. Thank you very much for your time. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next is review and approve agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as is?
I'll move to approve the agenda as is. Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Murray.
Trustee Parr.
Yes.
Trustee Adams.
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright.
Yes.
Trustee Schranz.
Yes.
Trustee Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes.
you.
Thank you. Motion carries. We have an agenda for this evening. Next is our staff report by our town manager. Ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor, trustees. You have my report. I do have a couple of things I'd like to highlight. First of all, we have established the date of April 22nd for the community open house out at Public Works. Please try to come. This meeting is getting larger and larger because we keep extending to different projects that we would like the public to weigh in on. So our 1601 process, all our transportation projects are municipal facilities like the fire station and the library. We hope to have a representative from all of these different entities. So it should be exciting. We're going to do our best to get it out to the public. So I hope all of you can attend that meeting. Also, just a quick update on broadband. I did meet last week with Loveland Pulse with their executive director, and they're going to go back and put together some numbers and some ideas for us to think about for potentially getting more of their broadband. As you know, our Public Works facility is served by Loveland Pulse. So we're kind of excited because they are working in many communities. Timnath, they're building out their entire community. So we'll see where that goes. She said it'll probably be a month. And then on Wednesday, Eric and I are meeting with Comcast, Representative Comcast. So I hope to be able to give an update to the board of where they are in their build out and when residents will be able to get Comcast for themselves. So I think that's important. We do get calls and, you know, we haven't really known because they still haven't brought the main line over, but they've put a lot of the fiber in the ground. And then finally, I did want to let you know, I will be not here for the next board meeting. I'll be hiking in Zion National Park. So no broadband there. And with that, if you have any questions.
Questions or comments? Herman?
the community open house, April 22nd. Is there a time yet?
6 to 8 p.m.
6 to 8. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for Helen? I know it's early in the evening, but I wanted to make a big shout out to our community and to our staff that put the Easter egg hunt together. It was fantastic and it was very well received, and every year gets bigger and bigger. So I just wanted to say a shout out to Lorelai and her crew, and JC did a wonderful job of putting it together. So before I forget, I just want to say thank you. All right, we'll move on to our informational item tonight. This will be our police update with the ICAC, and our chief of police will be here to update us. Chief Newbanks, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor, Board of Trustees. We wanted to give you a little update. I know you've heard us talk about ICAC a couple of times, Internet Crimes Against Children. And part of that was to collaborate in the statewide grant process of that. And we did get some monies to support this program and these investigations. And then part of that, well, a big chunk of that was for training, which Sergeant Coriolis is taking, and he is kind of heading up that program. So I'm going to let him talk about it and give you a little more information. Thank you. Sergeant Ellis.
Mayor, trustees. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Sergeant Ellis with the police department. I sort of head our ICAC division. ICAC, like the chief mentioned earlier, stands for Internet Crimes Against Children. A little bit of history. It's a federal program. It's overseen by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. It's existed for over 25 years. There's currently 61 ICAC task forces across the United States with over 5,000 agencies participating. Colorado specifically, our task force is ran by the Colorado Springs Police Department. So they basically handle any kind of grant funding there, who we work with as an affiliate through our agency to receive that money and additional training. They also intake every single cyber tip that comes into the data system, and then they filter those out throughout the state to all the affiliates to investigate. The investigations kind of handle a couple different ways. One is reactive. Those are through cyber tips, kind of like I mentioned before. There's a ICAC data system that we have access to. Different priority levels come in, and each one of those basically corresponds with how serious the tip is regarding the child and what danger they may be in. We have calls for service, which can be anything from enticement to CSAM, which is child sexual abuse material, runaways, sextortion. We also have, we're trying to implement some more proactive strategies as well to keep these type of crimes out of Mead or reduce them as much as we can. So how the data system works is it gives us cyber tech access. It also allows us to deconflict our investigations with other agencies, so nobody's kind of stepping on each other's toes. And then it kind of acts as a hub for statistical data collection for not only the state, but federally in terms of the amount of investigations that are occurring. One of our jobs with ICAC is outreach and prevention. So that would involve presentations like this. We also do have educational resources on the town website. If you go to the police department's website, you can access basically videos that help teach safe internet habits for children from elementary school to high school age. Those are put on by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, also known as NCMEC. So that's just kind of a link to their page. We are also trying kind of sort of beginning stages of partnering with Homeland Security. They basically are the lead federal agency when it comes to these type of investigations. We are in the process. I think we just completed an MOU with them to basically give the town federal subpoena power. Not every state recognizes Colorado's laws, and it makes it kind of difficult for us to get information regarding our investigations. So this would help streamline that process for us. Some of the resources and my contact information are listed above. But that's all I got for you as far as presentation.
Thank you, Sergeant Ellis. I think this is very important for us to get this out to the residents and the businesses around it. So if they need you or any of these resources, that we could put it on the website. And if there's anything that we could do to get it, I guess, public, more outreach.
Sure.
So, questions? Tricia?
So does this include like AI generated images of types of stuff like in the schools? Like I've heard of boys AI generating images of girls naked who aren't really naked, but then they pass them around. Like, and what are the Colorado laws regarding that kind of stuff? Do you know?
So this would include that. There's very few cases currently that are being tried regarding AI specific images. Realistically, they're still considered a crime at this point. There's not enough case law yet to discern as to what level they are, but yes, we would investigate those as well.
Okay.
Anything else? All right, keep us updated. Thank you very much for your time tonight. All right, next is our proclamation for Vietnam War Veterans Day, March 29, 2024. And I've asked Trustee Adams to read the proclamation tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. Proclamation, National Vietnam War Veterans Day, March 29th, 2024. Whereas March 29th was designated as the annual observance of Vietnam War Veterans Day and provides the opportunity to recognize, honor, and thank our Vietnam veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice during the Vietnam War, November 1st, 1955 through May 15th, 1957. And whereas our nation owes an immeasurable debt of gratitude to the more than 3 million veterans who served in Vietnam and the more than 58,000 who paid the ultimate sacrifice, and to all whom returned home more than 40 years ago to a nation in turmoil. We did and were denied a proper welcome, and whereas while we cannot undo the past, we can right a wrong moving forward and ensure that our heroes know how much we value their service and sacrifice and the courage, commitment to our nation. Now therefore, I, Colleen G. Whitlow, Mayor, do hereby designate March 29th, 2024 as Vietnam War Veterans Day in Mead, given under my hand and seal of the town of Mead, Colorado on this 25th day of March, 2024.
Thank you, David. Is there a motion to approve the signing of this proclamation?
I move to approve the signing of the proclamation.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Harris,
Yes.
trustee Shranz.
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries, and thanks from the board and from staff to all the Vietnam veterans out there. And for those who have lost their lives, we thank them too. Next, we'll move on to public comment for this evening. The board welcomes public comment for any item on the agenda. We will take comments about the community center during item number 10 and for items not on the agenda during the second public comment, item number 12. The board will listen to your comments and take them into consideration. If you desire a conversation, please email the board or the town manager or attend the monthly coffee with the mayor. If you wish to speak during this public comment period, please adhere to the town's general guidelines. Please start by stating your full name and address for the record. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the Board of Trustees. If you are representing a group, you will have 5 minutes. Is there anyone in the room that would like to approach the podium and talk to the board during this first public comment period? Seeing none, we'll move on to our consent agenda for the night. The consent agenda contains items which are considered routine and are approved with one motion and vote. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
A motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Roll call, please, Mary.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
trustee Shranz,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion carries. Thank you to staff for putting this together, and I wish all the luck to the grant that we go forward for our new police facility. All right, next we'll move on to our public hearing of the night. The subject is the Mead Community Center preliminary plat. Tonight's public hearing is for the review of the preliminary plat for the Mead Community Center. Staff will present the report outlining the criteria for approval, followed by a presentation about the project, and then we will allow the public to speak or ask questions, followed by the board's consideration. I will open up the public hearing, and the time now is 6:16, and this item will be introduced by our town planner, Kyle Estrada Clark. Sir?
There we go. Good evening, Mayor Whitlow and the Board of Trustees. Tonight, we have the public hearing for the Mead Community Center preliminary plat. There we go. Perfect. So for tonight, the applicant is the town of Mead. As for its status, it was recently passed as a resolution through the Planning Commission and brought here tonight. The total acreage of the property is 1.58 acres, and it is located south of Martin Avenue and west of County Road 7, also known as 3rd Street. It is adjacent to these things. To the north is Mead Town Hall. To the west is residential Old Town. To the south is Mead Town Center and the Agfinity gas station. And to the east is Boulder Scientific and the Agfinity industrial site. To give a better visual view of where this project is, the preliminary plat is that polygon that's shaded red. As you can see, to the north, Town Hall, to the south, Agfinity and Mead Town Center, and so on. So for the preliminary plat, in total, it will be one lot. Through this preliminary plat and final plat process in the future, it will consolidate 18 existing lots into one lot. A part of this includes the acquisition of land from the Great Railway Company, Western Rail Company, my apologies. It would also allow for adequate space for utilities and brand new community center for the town of Mead. So here's a visual showing on the left is what's existing today. As you can see, a bunch of lots on there. And then on to the right of the screen is the new proposed preliminary plat that consolidates all of them into one lot. At the very bottom right corner is where that Great Western Rail property is. Thank you. That's where the acquisition will be. So in terms of review criteria and compliance, staff believes that the preliminary plat is consistent with the land use code and the goals of the comprehensive plan. For the land use code, it meets all dimensional and design standards. And for the comprehensive plan, it is an allowed use under the downtown mixed use zoning district. So as you can see on the left of the screen is the existing zoning. All that red is downtown mixed use, and that blue outline is where the preliminary plat is. To the right side of the screen, that is our future land use. And as you see, it continues to be downtown mixed use. So no issues in the future in regards to zoning changes or uses that are allowed. Another thing that staff believes in is that the preliminary plat would further help the goals of the comprehensive plan. Amongst the listed items on the screen It allows for increased activation of the downtown by developing a vacant piece of land and bringing recreational opportunities and bringing foot traffic to business, especially during events and community programming. In other terms, for number 3, the preliminary plat and its design has adequate utility and transportation design. In addition, any negative impacts on adjacent land uses have been identified and mitigated. For example, the minimum amount of parking that was designated for the site is 23. However, we will be proposing 64 spaces. For number 5, we believe that there is a need and desirability for this development. The project will provide a much needed home for recreation and community activities. With further ado, for the staff recommendation, after reviewing the application, staff finds the preliminary plat to be in compliance with land use code and the comprehensive plan. Therefore, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve the proposed preliminary plat, subject to standard conditions of approval via the suggested motions. And with that, we are finished with this portion. Do you have any questions for me tonight?
Not yet. Not
Perfect.
yet. I would ask if the town engineer, Public Works Director, Erica Rasmussen, has anything else to add.
Thank you. Good evening. I don't have anything to add. Kyle did a great job presenting the project, but we're here for questions. I also have my design team here and our construction manager, so we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you, Clark. Okay, we're going to open it up to the public comment portion of the hearing now. The time limit is for speaking will be 3 minutes for the individual or 5 minutes if you are representing a group or organization. Is there anyone that would like to speak during this proposed plat based on the information that was given to us during this presentation tonight? Okay. Seeing none, is there any questions or comments from the board to either our town planner or our town engineer, public works director?
Mayor, if I may.
Yes,
I
I'm
just
sorry.
want to state that there was a public comment received by Dave Colmier by email on Monday, March 25th, and the board was given a copy of that email.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, I will go back to see if there's any questions or concerns. All right, seeing none. The public comment portion of the hearing is now closed and the board may discuss anything about this. If there's anything else. Aaron?
You mentioned that your parking places went from 23 to 64. Did we have to give anything up to get to that? Or was that originally in the plan?
Is the minimum.
Yeah.
we have to provide, but I don't know that was ever. the
Oh,
plan.
okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, seeing nothing further, I will close the public hearing now at 6:23. It's hard to see when the the lights are above, so sorry. Is there a motion on resolution number 28-R-2024?
I move to approve resolution 28-R-2024, a resolution conditionally approving the Mead Community Center subdivision preliminary plat based on a finding that the review criteria set forth in section 16-4-160 of the code have been satisfied as detailed in the agenda item summary report prepared for the March 25th, 2024 Board of Trustees meeting.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Adams,
Yes.
trustee Harris,
Yes.
trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Schranz,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries. I'd like to say thank you to the staff that put this together, the board for having the vision for this, for our downtown, and thank you for our construction company that is here tonight with us. So thank you very much. All right, we'll move on to our new business. How fun is this? After our legislation update at the last regular meeting of the Board of Trustees, the board directed the town attorney to prepare resolutions in opposition of certain proposed legislation. I'd like to say thank you to Marcus in preparing these and his team. Will you please review each one of the resolutions and give us an update on any of the legislation as of today?
Packet, we do have 4 resolutions. One resolution opposing each of 4 specific House bills. The first resolution opposes House Bill 24-1304, which is prohibiting local governments from enacting or enforcing minimum parking requirements. No real update on this from what I provided on the 11th. This bill passed out of committee on the 5th of March and has currently been referred to appropriations. With respect to the second bill, House Bill 24-1152, this is requiring accessory dwelling units as a use by right in residential zone districts. That has also been referred to appropriations. So no update there. With respect to House Bill 24-1168, this is the open meetings related bill requiring live streaming and video conference participation in all public meetings. That passed out of committee on March 20th. So that is an update from the last meeting. That has also been referred to appropriations. My understanding is that some of the proposed or changes that have been requested by the CML advocacy team, certain changes were made to the bill, but they have not addressed all of the concerns. So they're still in an opposed position on that piece of legislation. Finally, with respect to House Bill 24-1313, which is the transit-oriented communities bill, my understanding is that there was a hearing scheduled for this afternoon, but I do not have any information on how that hearing went. But again, I'm anticipating that one probably moved out of committee and has also, will be referred to appropriations. So I'm happy to answer any questions on any of those specific resolutions that are in your packet. But I also want to highlight for all of you that in each resolution, if you have a choice on each of these, right? You can either pass the resolution, which would kind of memorialize your opposition to each of these pieces of legislation, and then it instructs the town clerk to share a copy of the resolution if adopted with each of the bill sponsors, and also send a courtesy copy to the CML advocacy team. You can also, with respect to each of these resolutions, choose to not take any formal action on the resolution tonight, but just continue to monitor each of these bills as they continue to move through the balance of the session.
Thank you, Marcus. All right. The first one is opposition of proposed legislation for prohibiting local governments from enacting or enforcing minimum parking requirements. And is there a motion for this resolution number 29-R-2024?
I move to approve resolution 29-R-2024, opposing House Bill 24-1304, prohibiting local governments from enacting or enforcing minimum parking requirements.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
trustee Harris,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Strands.
I have a question. Can I ask it before I vote?
I would defer that question to our attorney.
In reference to your comment about the options that we have with this bill, do we have to? If we want this to be, if we want the Mary to send it out, or is it automatically going to happen?
That language is automatic. It's in each of the resolutions.
Thank
you. Yep.
Yes.
Okay, trustee Strands. Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you. Motion carries. Next is resolution number 30, and this is opposing the requirement of ADUs. Is there a motion for resolution number 30-R-2024?
I move to approve resolution 30-R-2024 opposing House Bill 24-1152 requiring accessory dwelling units.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Shranz,
Yes.
trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Harris,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Motion carries. Moving on to resolution number 31. This is about live streaming of and video conferencing participation in all public meetings. Is there a motion for resolution number 31-R-2024?
I will move to approve resolution 31-R-2024 opposing House Bill 24-1168, requiring live streaming of and video conference participation in all public meetings.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Harris,
Yes.
trustee Shranz.
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Motion carries. Last resolution is up in opposition of increasing house density in transit-oriented communities. Is there a motion for resolution number 32-R-2024?
I move to approve resolution 32-R-2024 opposing House Bill 24-1313, increasing housing density in transit-oriented communities.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Adams,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Harris,
Yes.
trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
trustee Shranz,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Motion carries on all four of the resolutions. Thank you, Marcus, and your team that put these together. And thank you, board, for recognizing these bills that are moving fast through the legislation. So thank you very much. We'll move on to our second public comment of the evening. This brings us to our second regular public comment period. This comment period is for any item, whether it is on the agenda or not. All other guidelines previously stated apply. Would anyone like to comment at this time? Please come to the podium and state your name and address for the board. Is there anyone here that would like to speak?
Please start with your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Karen Masick. My address is 1272 Cumberland Drive in Longmont.
My name's Yesenia Zamora. My address is 2105 Laramie Court in Longmont, Colorado.
We represent La Isla Boxing Club. And the mission, we are a 501c3. The mission of our club is to teach and encourage all students through disciplined training, consistent commitment, honor, respect, and each student will develop self-confidence and the knowledge that any dream can be achieved. We are looking for a space either in the community center. I've talked with Caitlin Newbanks, and she encouraged us to come to this meeting tonight. And we're looking for a space in perhaps the town center, at least 800 square feet. And we're looking for financial assistance for that space. And we offer classes for children all the way up to adults. We offer senior boxing classes, boxing for Parkinson's classes, and our goal is to not charge for these services and to provide.
And we also take them to like amateur boxing and all of that too, to all those shows. And two of my kids are even in it, and they're going this week at the Golden Gloves here at the Boulder County Fairgrounds. So they'll be in that tournament. So.
But people don't have to compete.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I do it for physical training and to stay in shape. And boxing is a wonderful sport for people with Parkinson's and other handicaps. It teaches coordination and balance. And we want to be able to offer these classes. But we're a new
New boxing.
We're a
club.
new boxing club. And so we're looking for either
A permanent space.
a permanent space, financial assistance, or subsidy for that space. And I have our pamphlet that I can leave here with you. Any questions?
You don't have a comment period back to the individuals during this time. But I just want to say thank you very much for coming. And please give your literature to these young ladies over here. And if we can find a place somewhere along the way, we will try to contact you. I just want to say thank you very much for contacting me. And I in turn contacted our public information officer. And so I just wanted to say thank you on top, coming to our little town of Mead and thank you for what you do. So typically we don't interface with people that have public comment, but I just want to say thank you very much. And if you provide the literature, I'm sure that people who are viewing this online and those after will be able to maybe find a spot for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the board tonight? All right, we'll move on to our legislative update. Marcus, is back to you.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have a whole lot for you tonight, but I would like to highlight a couple of items that came out in the State House report that was issued this afternoon. The first is that the legislature, through the balance of the term, they're now a little bit more than halfway through this session. They're going to be focused now on what's referred to as the long bill or the state budget. So what was highlighted in the State House report that came out today is that apparently the revenue projections for the state through March are a little bit lower than I think what some of the state finance folks were anticipating. So right now, a lot of these bills that I've mentioned throughout previous legislative updates and that you took action on earlier tonight will be going to appropriations. And I think that what the lower revenue projections will end up meaning is that any of these bills that have a high fiscal note or a high cost may end up having a little bit of a harder road ahead in terms of getting through the appropriations committee, given that the state revenues apparently are a little bit lower than what folks originally anticipated. Also, in the State House report this afternoon, there is a CML webinar that's scheduled for this Friday, the 29th of March at noon. So if any of you are interested in that, those usually last about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. If any of you are interested in logging into that webinar, please shoot me an email. I'm happy to make sure that you have that information so that you can log into that webinar on Friday. And then finally, there was one new bill that was highlighted in the report this afternoon having to do with electrical vehicle or EV charging station permits. This is House Bill 24-1173, scheduled for a hearing in the House Energy and Environment Committee on March 28th at 1:30 p.m. The bill would establish timelines for both county government and city and town governments to approve EV charging stations within a certain specified time frame. So if it's an application for 13 or less EV charging stations, a local government would have to act upon that application in no less than 30 days. If it's for an EV charging stations or a center that has 13 or more charging stations, a local government would have to act on that within 60 days. So that'll be another bill that we will continue to monitor. Apparently, the Colorado Energy Office will be developing a model code that would have to be adopted by county government and city and town governments no later than December 31 of 2025 if this bill ends up passing in its current form. So happy to stand for any questions.
Questions, comments for Marcus? All right, thank you. All right, next is our elected official reports. Any of the town trustees have anything? All right, go ahead, Chris.
I just want to say that we came to the Easter egg hunt this year and it was so impeccably planned and timing was perfect. And I've watched it grow from 2,000 eggs to 12,000 eggs. And I just wanted to say what fantastic job everybody did. So thank you to staff for making sure that worked exactly the way it worked.
Thank you very much. Yeah, ditto. Very well attended, very grateful for everything everybody's put together. The only thing I have is a coffee with the mayor coming up April 6th, along with the shred event. Make sure that if you can share that with your friends and your family, that would be gratefully appreciated. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Harris,
Yes.
trustee Shranz. Trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes.
Thank you.
The March 25th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees is now adjourned at 6:41. Thank you. Please drive home safely. And thank you for attending. Thank you.